heard of. And I've looked through the ancient libraries. I've been able to go and search the web, and I have found nothing on it. So I'm going to tell you a never before heard story called The Legend of the Medicrin. Now, once upon a time, way back in the day, long before any of our ancestors were even born, there was this beast. This beast was so vile, disgusting, gross. It stood 9 feet tall and had glowing red eyes. It went forward and had breath that was horrid, like rotten eggs. Have you ever been camping before? And you're just looking and you feel like something's watching you. And when you look, just nothing's there. That was the Medicrin. Long ago, way back in the day, in a magical land, there was a farmer who decided, you know what? I'm tired of this hunting and gathering life. What I want to do is settle down. There's beautiful mountains all over there. We got a luscious forest. And this is flat land. This is a great place to establish a farm and, you know what, settle some roots. So that day, we got working, building that farm, plowing, and was able to spread the seed all throughout and watered it. But little did they know, the land was magical. And so, when they went to bed that evening, awoke the next morning, they came back to tend to their crop. And it was fully grown already, just overnight. And just like that, there's like, whoa, this is amazing. So, called up all the friends, carrier pigeon and stuff like that. Brought it out there and decided to tweet out to all of their friends and family that, hey, this is amazing. We're never going to be hungry again. Come on out to my place. And so, what they did was they went out and gathered their harvest for the day, spread out some new crop, and then feasted for the first time in ages. That night, they went down, slept with their bellies full, something they haven't done in such a long time. And night has fallen. This is where we see the Medicrin. The Medicrin! Now the Medicrin, this vile beast, went down from the mountains, through the forests of agony, and smelled with its nose some magical crop. And so, it decided to fill its belly after hibernation and eat its fill, leaving only half of the crop left. Once it was satisfied, it retreated back through the forest, up the mountains, and slept in the night as the morning sun came. Morning rose, cock-a-doodle-doo, up comes the villagers. They went out for another day of work, ready to get some harvest, but to their astonishment, half their crop was gone. I know, right? And with that, they decided, what could possibly do this? They looked at the ground, they saw some massive footprints from the Medicrin. The Medicrin! And so, they're over here like, what in the world am I supposed to do? So they went and searched in the ancient tomes of the libraries. They looked in this mythical beast book. They found things like Bigfoot and Sasquatch. They found things like the Loch Ness Monster. They found even things on Tyrannosaurus Rexes for some reason. But there was nothing about the Medicrin. The Medicrin! And so, feeling a little bit defeated on how to vanquish this beast, they were putting the book back. But as they were, a slip of paper slipped out. Well, they picked it up and it was a little pamphlet about Medicrins. The Medicrin! Through further investigation, they found that Medicrins love magical crop. And so, that's what it likes to fill its belly with. But Medicrins can't really jump that high. Only about 1 foot at a time. And so, they decided, this beast that's massive, 9 feet tall by 4 feet wide, to capture it, what we need to do is dig a hole into the ground and trap it by tricking it, putting some crop in the middle. So that's exactly what they did. They dug a hole that was 20 feet deep and 10 feet wide. With that, they were able to use their ladders to get out of the hole, fill up their crop, and remove the ladder. That's the important part. From then, they were tired and fatigued from the day. They did a lot of research. They did a lot of work. They ate not quite their bellies full. They have to be a little bit more conscious on what they eat. And went to bed, hoping that the Medicrin would be calm. Night has fallen. The Medicrin came down the mountain, through the forest of agony, and was able to smell its favorite treat, some magical crop. But it sensed danger was near and fled back into the mountains. The morning sun has risen. Cock-a-doodle-doo, here we have our villagers. They went eager to see if they were able to catch the Medicrin. But they saw nothing. So they went back to the library to be able to see, well, maybe there's something that we just didn't see. As they were reading, it was like, well, the Medicrins aren't very smart. They're a mysterious beast, but not a lot of brain power. Their eyes, although glowing red, can't see very well in the dark. They're not infrared or something like that. So what they decided to do was trick the Medicrin. So they went out and set a tripwire all the way around this hole so that the Medicrin would smell the crop, go forward, and fall into the pit. Satisfied with their day's work, they ate just a little bit more crop, again, because the Medicrin keeps eating it. Went forward and went back to sleep. Now the Medicrin came down the mountain, through the forest of agony, and was able to smell the crop. Was not very smart, didn't really see where it was going, and tripped on the wire, but fell backwards. Because it was scared, it fled back into the mountains. The next day, the villagers awoke. They were getting anxious. They saw that in the pit, there was nothing there. And so they're like, what can we possibly do? We're panicked. They went back to the library, searched, is there anything else on this scrap of paper? On the back side, etched in pencil, so faint you could miss it at a first glance. They saw that above all other things, Medicrins love sugar. Who doesn't love a sweet treat? So what's different about this hideous, massive beast? So they went and gathered all the sugar across the land, and they went and put it into the hole. But instead of just going to bed, eating their bellies, what they did was they had a little bit of a snack, and then they chilled in the nearby bushes to be able to watch and make sure the Medicrin would be vanquished once and for all. As the sun was beginning to set, a little bird started to fly around. One might say it was a loon. Loon. The loon smelled something sweet, something delicious. It smelled sugar. And it jumped right into the pit and started gobbling up all of the sugar. How are we supposed to go and vanquish this beast? Exclaimed the villagers. The loon is eating it all. This is our last chance before winter comes. The Medicrin is going to eat all of the crop. What can we possibly do with this loon full of sugar at the bottom of our pit? How are we supposed to do this? They were terrified. And so, loon, with its belly full, decided to try to fly away. But it was so heavy that it couldn't get out of the hole. It couldn't fly away. And then the night has officially fallen. The Medicrin came down from the mountain, through the forest of agony, and was able to smell something sweet, but faint, because it was inside the belly of a loon. With that, it just, without hesitation, jumped right into the pit, fell all the way down, and went after the loon. Just like that, the beast was vanquished, because it was a big fall and it could not get out. The forest was able to be free once again from this vile beast. Now, the moral of this story is that a loon full of sugar can help the Medicrin go down.